What's up, y'all? We got the 2023 Hyundai Santa Cruz Night Edition. Now I'm trying to hurry up and get through this. It's 100 degrees and my phone literally keeps stopping recording because it overheats, but whatever. Santa Cruz, let's talk about the nameplate. I was actually born in the town of Santa Cruz. I love Santa Cruz, California. It's a super cool beach town. Now the Santa Cruz Night Edition, I think this is basically just like the Santa Cruz with some black accents to it. I feel like every manufacturer is doing that nowadays. Let's go through the features and what you get. Now this is built off the same basic platform and everything that the Tucson is. Oh my god, my phone literally stopped recording because it got too hot and I think it ran out of storage. But literally every single time I make a review that happens. Anyways, let's talk about this vehicle though. So this is based off the Hyundai Tucson. This literally looks just like the Tucson except it's like the truck version of it. Let's go through what you get. Since this is the night edition, the only paint colors you get is this gray color. I forgot what the term for it is, but it's gray. And you can get a black color. Now you also get this black grille with the integrated LED daytime running lights that is supposed to look like these little pieces of the grille. Apparently AI designed this car. I don't know if that's true, but I remember when the Tucson came out, apparently AI designed it. And you know what's weird? You get halogen headlights. This vehicle is $38,000. You get halogen headlights and halogen turn signals, seriously. But on the 2024 Night Edition, they put LED headlights on this vehicle, so that's pretty good. And let's show you on the side. You get a few quirks on this vehicle with the little logo. It's supposed to look like a truck right here. And these are the wheels specific to the Night Edition. I think they look pretty nice, and they kind of got a matte finish. Wait. Oh, I was like, why does it look all bubbly? And special thank you to the team at All-Star Hyundai of Pittsburgh, or is this Antioch, Pittsburgh? Damn, they are the same thing. They are so nice here. I've reviewed so many vehicles here, and this is actually like one of my favorite dealerships. Like the whole team is so nice. Special thank you to everybody here. Like y'all, you gotta go check out them out here. They're just like so nice, and they'll help you out. Some people say that Hyundai dealerships don't have like the best customer service. Not this one. This one does have really good customer service from my firsthand experience. So if you like want a Hyundai, but you don't want to have to deal with some of the bad customer service that is apparently associated with the brand, come here because they will treat you right, and they're so nice here, and honestly I really like them here. So special thank you to All-Star Hyundai of Pittsburgh for letting me review this vehicle. And looking at the side, since this is a night edition, you get these gloss black exterior mirrors with LED mirror mounted turn signal indicators, no power folding exterior mirrors, gloss. My phone literally keeps stopping recording. That's why I'm trying to rush through this video so fast, so I can get as much information down as possible before my phone stops recording. Get another one of the little vehicle logos right here. And then looking at the back, Hyundai nowadays has been doing with their taillights, everything is supposed to look like H's. Like that's their design language now, H and everything. And it's kind of the same here. I feel like when they refresh this vehicle, they'll make a light bar that goes across. Mark my words, I bet you they're going to do that. No LED taillights. I think the upgraded models had that, but these taillights still look nice. Down here, no parking sensors, no visible exhaust tip, but at least you get a little step right here, so if you need to step in and get something out the tailgate, you can. And then look, you get Santa Cruz stamped into the tailgate. I feel like all trucks have that. The H-Track 2.5 turbo badge, because this is the cheapest trim of the Santa Cruz you could get that has the turbo. And then if you hold down the key, oh wait, it's because the truck is on. Let's turn it off for a second, but if you hold down the key, you can open up this tailgate. And looking at the interior, you press this button and it turns on the LED cargo lighting. Let's hold down the key and open the tailgate. That's pretty cool how that opens. And then looking at the tailgate, here's some cool features you get. You get these little tie downs and stuff. I'm not a huge truck person, so I don't really know what you do with these, but obviously you put some cargo and like keep it from flying out or some shit. And then opening this up, let's open up this one instead, because when you open this up, you get a 12-volt power outlet in here, but not on the other side, just this side. And you could take this off if you want, which is really nice. And then when you open up the floor right here, you can put a bunch of ice in here. If you're having a tailgate party, you get a drain plug and it drains right out. That's really nice. What if you filled this up with, you know, if you're camping, you could fill this up with water. If you have a baby, you could wash your baby in there. Really random. Let's get into tailgate though, because one thing that I want to know is, can you like sit in this and go to the drive-ins? That's what I would do if I had this truck. I'd be sitting in this like, yo, who wants to go to the drive-in? Sit in the back. It's the best idea ever. And if you want to lock somebody in here, which I'm not going to be laying myself in this black trunk when it's 100 degrees outside. Ah ha 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 ha. You're funny if you think I'll be doing that. No, but this is a pretty decent sized truck bed. You know, I feel like this is the same size as if you got like a truck with like a small bed. You know what I mean? A full-size truck with a small bed. And then I think the night edition is the only model to give you this cargo cover, and you could lock it just like that. That's pretty nice. How much does this vehicle tow? 5,000 pounds. Let's get in on the inside and turn on the air conditioner so my phone doesn't overheat. Alright, let's look at the inside. You get remote start. If y'all don't know how to use remote start, because I met somebody who didn't recently, just press the lock button twice and press this twice or hold it. Every single car is like that. If you don't know how to use remote start, you literally just press the lock button twice and hold this, or press this twice, and I guarantee you the car will work. But let's turn it off so we can show you guys. Keyless entry on the door handle. You have to press the button to unlock it. That's okay though. Then let's look at the interior. Cloth interior. I feel like nobody be reviewing with cars with cloth seats nowadays, but this one has it. And you get an 8-way power driver seat with 2-way power lumbar, no power passenger seat. And honestly, these seats, they're decently comfortable. I don't really have any complaints with them. And you also get heated front seats. Cool front seats were an option, but not on the night edition. You have to go for the limited model to get that. And for 2024, they actually made these H-Tex synthetic leather trim seats versus having cloth interior. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm having to turn on the car. It is way too hot. Now, this trim also gives you the digital gauge cluster, which I love. Let's turn down a little bit so y'all aren't like bombarded by noise. And you have different drive modes. This has all-wheel drive standard, and 333. You get smart mode, sport mode, changes the gauges like that, normal and snow. All modes have the gauges like this except smart or sport mode. I really like these gauges. Like, I don't like digital gauge clusters, but I think Hyundai is like, of all the digital gauge clusters, I think Hyundai is one of my favorite brands of digital gauge clusters. And then pressing this little button right here that looks like pieces of paper, you can go through the settings. That's all there really is to say with the gauge cluster. There's a few settings, but honestly nothing really that notable. You get this star button right here, which this actually you can do your own preset. So I think there's like, you can't do anything as a preset. Like, you can't be like, oh, this is my heated seat button. But you could do like, I don't know, like your phone and some other random little things. I forgot what I set it to, but I set this preset to a certain button. It's not working. Whatever. And then looking at the steering wheel, no leather wrap steering wheel, which I think is kind of weird because you get these nice paddle shifters, but you don't get leather on the steering wheel. And for the 2024 model year, I don't think it has leather even on the ones with the H-Tex trim seating, which I think is weird, but it's whatever. Steering wheel still feels nice, and these paddle shifters are really high quality. Higher quality paddle shifters than the Acura RLX Sport Hybrid I reviewed recently. Not that competes with this, but this is like a way cheaper interior vehicle, and it has nicer paddle shifters. And you get a really nice turn signal stock and wiper stock. No rain sensing wipers though. I don't know if that was an option. It might be an option on the limited model, but this model definitely doesn't have it. These turn signal stocks are the same ones that are in Genesis products. I think they're really nice. Then looking over at the touchscreen, honestly, there's not really anything I have to say about the touchscreen. I better not be on Apple CarPlay. It better not have messed up my video. Let me check that out. Anyways, looking at the touchscreen, this is the base model touchscreen, the 8-inch display. The upgraded models give you a 10-inch display, and you get this scroll wheel, which is nice. But the upgraded display gives you like a touch-sensitive button to change right here to change the volume. I like this display more. It seems like the older Hyundai infotainment system. Like, I reviewed the Ioniq and stuff, and it seems like it has like a newer infotainment. Maybe it's because of the smaller infotainment that is different. This infotainment is okay. There's not really anything interesting. Ooh, look at me, mirror in the gloss black. There's not really anything that interesting to say about this infotainment, but it's pretty snappy. It works well. Honestly, I don't really have any complaints. It's just there's not really that much interesting things to say about it. You can turn on your camera right here. No 360-degree camera. This is kind of like, for a 2023 vehicle, this camera is not the best, but I mean, honestly, who even cares? It's a backup camera. Like, I really don't care that if the backup camera is that bad. You do get a 360-degree camera on the limited model, and you will get that lane change thing, the lane change camera. This one obviously doesn't have it. And then you get auto hold. These are some nice buttons. You get your all-wheel drive lock and your hill descent control right here. Nice shifter, no leather wrap on the shifter. You do get a wireless charging pad though, which is pretty nice. 2 USB ports, 12-volt power outlet for your dash cam. Single zone manual climate control, no dual zone automatic climate control. I think if you go for a higher model, obviously it'll include that. The 2024 models, the night edition includes dual zone automatic climate control. So honestly, low-key, I'd probably go for a 2024 model, but it's like $2,000 extra. At least you get 3-level heated front seats though. No heated steering wheel. This is kind of a soft armrest, not leather wrap. This feels more like vinyl, but it's soft at least. Opening this up, pretty deep storage. Nothing really interesting in there. Opening up the glove box. Pretty deep, nothing really interesting to say about the glove box. And then down here you get it's barely any storage. You get basically enough storage for like 1 or 2 things. And then a cup, that's all right. Looking at the interior materials, this is like your only soft part on the door panel. It's pretty soft. This is all scratchy, this is all scratchy. This is all scratchy too. Up here is soft. And you get a lot of gloss black. No 64 color ambient lighting. It'd be nice if they had the accents right here. I like how you get a texture difference right here and here though. And here's where you turn on the light for your bed. Window controls. They feel pretty high quality, but they're plastic, but like they feel sturdy. And no one-touch windows, only in the front. It'd be nice if it had all one touch for all 4, but I don't really expect that. 6-speaker sound system. The sound system is pretty alright. Like what I really have to say about it, I feel like it's just pretty average, you know, like it doesn't sound really bad, but you know, if you turn it up really high to the maximum volume, it doesn't get distorted or anything, but it almost sounds like a little bit mixed together, you know what I mean? Like when the music, it's hard to, when you have a premium branded sound system or a really good sound system, you can kind of like pick out notes and different sounds in songs, but when you have kind of like a more base model sound system, you can't really do that. So that's what this sound system is like. I mean, it's not the clearest, but it doesn't really sound distorted at all. Bass, it doesn't really have much bass at all, but the volume can get pretty loud. Honestly, I feel like this sound system is good for most people. If you're not an audiophile, I really don't think you need to get the Bose sound system. I haven't reviewed the Bose sound system. For all I know, the Bose sound system could have like barely any bass also, and it just sounds a little bit better. In that case, I would think it's not worth it. But you know, for most people, I feel like the 6-speaker sound system is fine. You also get a sunroof on this XRT model, or not XRT, night model, sorry. And then you get LED lighting on the inside. Sitting in the rear, I'm 6'3", 6'4". Honestly, I have tons of headroom, you guys. This is like really good amount of headroom. Leg room, my knees are touching the seat. This is how I would be sitting. Honestly, it's fine though. You could just ask somebody to move their seat up. And if you can't, just like get in a different position. People don't know how to get comfy. Honestly, low-key, I feel like if you're like a heavier person though, it's harder for heavier people to get comfy in the back seat. Cause see, I'm skinny. I can hella just like move in weird positions. Maybe because I'm really flexible. But like, I feel like I really like, not to be mean, but I feel like a fat person in like a cramped back seat, they're kind of struggling a lot more than I would. I don't know. Fat people, let me know in the comments. Is that true? And then looking at the materials in the back, scratchy, scratchy, scratchy. Everything is scratchy, but at least you get a cup holder right here, which I think is really nice. But I guess it's not that nice. It's kind of expected because there's no armrest that folds down. And you also don't get rear air vents and no chargers back here. But if you got, I think for the 2024 model year, the night edition comes with rear air vents. And I know like the more higher trims, I'm pretty sure they come with some chargers back here. Honestly though, would I be comfy on a long drive back here? Yeah, the seats are actually decently comfortable. I feel like trucks usually have pretty uncomfortable back seats. And it's hot, a hot day like today, you can open this up. The window's pretty small, so you can't like climb through the back window into the truck bed. I don't know if any of y'all ever done that, but I've done that. But you can't do it in this one. Let's open up the hood though and show you guys what's powering this bad boy of an engine. So unfortunately you have to prop the hood up yourself, which actually that's not really a big deal, but what is this? This is Hyundai's 2.5 liter 4-cylinder turbo, and this has I think 276 horsepower and 311 pound-feet of torque. This is the same powertrain that is in the Sonata N-Line and then the Hyundai Santa Fe with the 2.5 turbo. Then I think there might be like 1 or 2 other models that's included in. But this is a really fun powertrain. And what are the MPGs? 19 in the city, 27 MPG on the highway, which that's not the best. Honestly, if you're somebody who's like really anal about MPGs, you will go for a Ford Maverick hybrid. But if you're somebody who likes performance, then you'll probably go for this. I feel like not that many people are buying this car. I don't see that many on the roads. But I kind of really like this car after driving it. Honestly, this car drives really well. And you get an 8-speed wet dual clutch transmission. A wet dual clutch transmission in a truck? Yep, I think that's pretty weird, but it's pretty cool also. It's the same transmission that's in the Hyundai Elantra N, which is Hyundai's performance sedan. And look, you actually have a lot of space in this engine. I feel like this wouldn't be actually the hardest vehicle to work on. Honestly though, I'm not a work on cars person, so I'm just talking out my ass. All-wheel drive also comes standard on this trim, which is really nice. And honestly, this car drives so nice. It's so punchy, so torquey, and it just shifts so smooth. Like, I really don't have any complaints about this car, how it drives. Honestly, like, overall, this car as a whole is really good. And what's really nice is it has so much driver assistance. I was saying how it doesn't have adaptive cruise control, which it needs to have, but this has blind spot monitoring and rear cross traffic alert standard on every model, and you get rear cross traffic braking standard on every model. So if a car is coming behind you, it'll detect that and it'll brake for you, which a lot of cars make you go for the highest model to give you that. But let's get it on the road and let's show you guys if it drives pretty good. I forgot also to say, what are the issues with this powertrain? Honestly, I was looking online, I actually couldn't really find any issues. So a car that you can't really find any issues online with, and then it drives really well, and it's like works good as a utility vehicle. Honestly, I don't know why this vehicle doesn't sell more, because it's a really good car or truck. Alright y'all, so we are driving the Hyundai Santa Cruz Night, and this has 276 horsepower and 311 pound-feet of torque. It gets 19 in the city, 27 mpg on the highway, and it has the same transmission that's in the Elantra N, which is Hyundai's performance sedan. Now, I'm kind of excited to drive this because I haven't driven a car with this powertrain since I drove the Sonata N-Line, and I loved how that thing drove. So I'm pretty excited to see how this drives. So let's see how it goes. Okay, 0 to 60, and then that person's getting stuff out the box right there. Damn, this has a nice engine noise. This is a really nice engine noise. You can hear the turbo. Now this has the dual clutch, and the first thing I noticed is this is really smooth. Setting off the line, you know, you don't really feel it shift much at all, and it shifts really quick. I feel like a lot of dual clutches, you can kind of feel them shift, but not this one. This one seems to be a pretty good dual clutch. I also like the digital gauge cluster. I think it looks really good. And what's cool about it is if you change the drive modes, it'll change the look of the gauge cluster. So you got snow mode, which obviously we're not going to go in right now. Smart mode, which I think it like adjusts the driving or the tuning of the transmission and stuff based on your driving habits. And then you got sport mode, see how it changes the gauges like that in sport mode. And we got normal. Let's put it in smart mode though for now and see how it is. And I think this is the only trim, well, not the only trim, but I think this is the cheapest trim you could get that gives you the gauge cluster. So you got the SE, the SEL, the Night, then there's like the XRT, then you got the SEL, I think Premium, then you got the Limited. And I think the Night Edition, which this one is the cheapest one that you could trim, or the lowest trim that you could get that gives you the digital gauge cluster. Now you do only get single zone manual climate control, no dual zone automatic climate control. The 2024 models I think add that, and then you also get this small, there we go. You get this small, well I guess this isn't really small, but by modern standards this small 8-inch touchscreen, and you could get, oh somebody ran the red light, this 10-inch touchscreen. Oh shoot. My phone fell. Damn. That 311 pound-feet of torque. Shit. Not the phone falling. Hopefully it doesn't do that again. This also has pretty decent ride quality. You know, so far I don't have any complaints with it. Like, good ride quality and good power. You also, I barely even pressed the gas there, and it had enough torque that it made my phone fall. Now we gotta get over. No blind spot, whatever the camera is, the blind spot view camera, that you have to go for the limited model to get that. You know, that's a really nice feature, but honestly, I wouldn't really expect it to be on this lower trim. Like, you don't even get a leather wrap steering wheel. That's what I think is really interesting about this, is it's weirdly optioned. You know, you get these nice paddle shifters with the 2.5 turbo, but then you don't even get leather on the steering wheel. You get these cloth seats, no leather on the shift knob, or knob, more like shift handle. And then, but you also get a sunroof. So this kind of, I would expect it to have a leather wrap steering wheel, but it's kind of weirdly optioned. Now I'm hoping that my phone doesn't fall again, because we're getting on the part of the road where I always, let's turn the AC off. I always do the 0 to 60 or see the handling on this little part right here. I like how the gauge cluster changes colors.
Yeah,
when you put
especially
it in
in
sport
sport.
mode. Yup.
It's fire.
And these are nice controls for the wiper and turn signal stocks. I think these are the same stocks that you get in the Genesis product.
Mm-hmm. So.
Damn, everybody be running the red light out here. That doesn't
Everybody.
surprise me. It's Antioch. Okay, let's test out the handling. This handles good. And you saw we just passed all that traffic.
It's a little bit quick.
This is quick. I like this car. You know, one of my favorite cars that I reviewed was the, oh, who's in my blind spot? Oh, somebody's coming up fast. That's nice. This is kind of like Mazda's advanced blind spot monitoring system that I have in my Mazda 6, where it detects if somebody's in your blind spot from a pretty far distance away. So like if somebody's coming up fast, let's turn the AC on again because we're not doing the 0-60 anymore. If somebody's coming up fast, it'll kind of detect it more versus if somebody's far away and they're not going that fast. Now on the highway, this is smooth. It's actually pretty decently quiet, honestly. Like, I keep talking about my Mazda 6. Let me cut this person out. It seems more quiet on the highway than my Mazda 6, and my Mazda 6 is supposed to be more of a premium car than this. You know, I feel like a lot of new Hyundai vehicles are just really good. Let's put it in smart mode though. Let's try out the cruise control. Now, this doesn't have adaptive cruise control. I think you have to go for one of the higher trims to get that, which I think this needs to have adaptive cruise control because this is around $38,000, and you know, you could get adaptive cruise control on like a 2018 Corolla LE base model standard, and this doesn't have it, which I wish it did. But what you do get is I think lane following assist, where basically I think if you have the cruise control engaged, it'll just it's not like Hyundai's highway driver assist, but I think it's like it kind of keeps you in the lane, but it's not going to like steer for you and stuff. So let's kind of like test it out. Let's get away from this car first, but I'm going to like take my hands off the wheel and we're going to see how well it does. See, Hyundai has one of the best lane keeping assist systems on the market. Like, look at this. It's basically like driving for me. And this isn't even the highway drive assist. It's literally like, y'all see, I'm not even touching the wheel and it's keeping me in the lane. And it's not telling me to put my hands on the wheel. That's what I really like about Hyundai's technology. I think out of all the car makers, besides maybe some of the luxury car makers, I think they have like some of the best driver assistance systems. Oh, asshole, not gonna let me cut him off. When I'm trying to see the highway performance.
I hate people like that.
Me too. It's like
they will go hella slow, and then when they see one emerging, they go hella fast.
Exactly. It's like, get out of the fast lane. And then they be matching speed with the person next to them.
That's what I'm saying. Just hop over.
Exactly. That's what I do. And then just get back over once the person passed. That's what I be doing.
Minimum 80 in the far left.
Dead ass. You better be cutting up in traffic if you're going the far left. Alright, we're getting off on this exit, and we can see a little bit how the brakes are and how the handling is on this turn. Really smooth brakes. Oop, there's a car right there. Not telling me to stay in the lane. See, it's only beeped at me once to stay in the lane. I like that because my Mazda, I swear, it's always beeping at me. Let's see how well this handles this on-ramp. I say that and then I barely even accelerate. Yeah, this handles really well. Maybe not really well, but this handles good. This is the same powertrain as the Sonata N-Line. Obviously, the Sonata is going to feel a little bit faster because that has, I think, like 20 more horsepower.
Mm-hmm.
It's surprising how, like, just 20 horsepower will make a difference in a car.
No, for sure.
Like, I used to think that 20 horsepower wasn't that much of a difference, but it kind of is. Oh, we don't want to get a bunch of paint chips from this big rig. Man, we need to get around this traffic so I could do a little bit of a pull. Let's see, let's put it in manual mode. We're in 7th gear. These are responsive paddle shifters. I would expect that with the same transmission that's in the Elantra N. But honestly, this is a really good vehicle to drive.
You really don't feel the road either.
No, you don't. This is like really smooth.
It's probably like the longest I've actually been in it.
Yeah, I like this car. Honestly, would I get this? I mean, I'm not in the market for a vehicle like this. But if I was, I haven't driven the Ford Maverick, but honestly, you know, I definitely would think about this. This trim, I feel like this is the trim to get because it's the cheapest way to get the turbo. And I mean, you gotta go get the turbo. You don't want to get the naturally aspirated version with 180 horsepower. And you know, this doesn't have all the features, but honestly, I feel like you kind of more a car like this that you would use for more like maybe work stuff. I feel like you don't necessarily need all those features. Like, yeah, it would be nice if I had a leather wrap steering wheel, but honestly, like, you don't really need that. This steering wheel feels fine. And then, like, at least it has a sunroof. You know, it doesn't have the Bose sound system, but I'm like, well, add your own aftermarket speakers. Apparently, that will probably do better. Everybody always says if you add aftermarket speakers, it's better than the ones that come with the aftermarket sound system that comes from the factory. And, you know, you don't got dual zone automatic climate control, but at least you got heated front seats and you get a power driver's seat. So, honestly, yeah, this, you know, it has enough features. It would be nice if it had a little bit more features, but for the 2024 model year, they added, like, LED headlights, a bigger touchscreen, some synthetic leather seats on this trim, and then, like, I think, like, a few other features. So, honestly, if you want all those features, you could get that on one of the 2024 models, but it'll be, like, $2,000 more expensive. Oh, finally, we get a little open area that these people can change lanes. Yeah, if you're racing somebody in traffic, which, I mean, you shouldn't be doing. But, you know, if you're somebody who likes to race in traffic a little bit and you need, like, a little utilitarian car, you know, this isn't a bad choice. This will gas a few people. You're on the highway and somebody wants to match speed, and then when you try to pass them, they want to floor it. You know, you might still keep passing them. Alright, y'all, we're kind of in, like, the more shitty of the area. Obviously, like, look what's around us. And we can kind of see the ride quality here. Wow, we went over those, Oh, I'm still in manual mode? Damn, I didn't even realize it. And the car was shifting for me, and I was in manual mode. We went over those train tracks, and this handled that really well, you know. You barely felt it. Like, I go over those same train tracks in my Mazda 6, and you feel like the whole entire car is shaking, like, just like, nah, not this car. This car is just so smooth. And with the transmission, too. Everything about this car is smooth. I've noticed that with all the Hyundais I reviewed. They're always, like, so much smoother than a lot of other cars I've driven. Oh, who's laying on the horn? Thank you, everybody, so much for watching.